Welcome back to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert. I'm here with Eric Aquino, a person with Parkinson's, and we're talking about rebranding Parkinson's. Is really one of the big things that came out of the Great PMD Alliance
Yes.
All In Summit in Austin, Texas recently. And one important piece of language that Eric just brought up in the last episode was management versus treatment.
Yeah.
Talk to me about managing Parkinson's and what does that do in terms of shifting maybe perspective and
Well,
action?
because when you're talking about managing, it's something that you're gonna have for a long time. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna manage your house, manage your businesses. When you use the word manage, it implies a long term process. When you're treating the infestation that you have, or you're treating the sickness that you have, it's quick and short term. There's nothing quick or short about Parkinson's. It's a long haul. It's a marathon, and it gives people a different perspective. And also, when it comes to payment of stuff, they look at it different when you're saying you're managing a condition, because they're not like, hey, why are you still treating it, or why are you still managing it? Because there's a long term effect to it.
So you're speaking about chronic versus acute, and that really comes down to pardon my own self promotion, but there's my book, Acceptance, right? Which
Yeah,
is exactly that idea because this is the hard thing I think with Parkinson's, and not just for the people with it. That's I know where my focus has been because certainly as a care partner for my dad, not just his but other people's acceptance. There's a problem of acceptance when it comes to the medical professionals too about accepting that they don't know everything and that's okay, that if we
yeah,
can lessen the expectations on I don't need you to fix me like you say to treat me, I need you to teach me how to manage, to co-manage perhaps with me. Is that, do
yeah,
I have that right?
yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's a team effort, and I always talk about the mechanic treating your doctor like you treat your mechanic, and people laugh at me, but it's the simplest form of saying, hey. And when you take your car when there's something wrong with your car, you go to your doctor at length and in detail, explain what's going on, and if they don't fix it or correct it, you go back to say, hey, there's something wrong, or you take it to someone else, and then once again in detail explain what you did, what they did, what's still going on. But when it comes to the doctor, we wait the longest time possible, give the vaguest description in the shortest amount of time, and if we don't get the results, we don't go back, which astonished me. Or we don't go to someone else and say, "Hey, they did this, they did this," and I've done this enough where people are like, "Oh, there's not that many people in my area. We're limited. We have technology. Reach out."
Yeah. Well, you're right. So this is the change in who and what we are. There's presumptive technology in terms of what's out there, yet the way we access it can change, right? We know the pitfalls of Dr. Google. The
Yeah,
way you go after this, and again, what is your level of expectation? If you're going to manage this only thinking like you did initially, perhaps of, oh, my grandmother, and therefore I've got her Parkinson's. Well, of course you're going to get the worst case scenario,
oh yeah, oh yeah.
but there are positive results you can find too, and you're an example of that because you're leading. Hey, by the way, I'm living as a young onset person with Parkinson's, and it doesn't mean older person in a wheelchair, right?
No, it definitely doesn't, and it's not my grandmother's Parkinson's. It's my Parkinson's,
Right.
and the way I explain that is it's a game of card 52 pickup. You have 52 cards with all the symptoms for diagnosis, and that doctor has that same deck for everyone he talks to, and he drops that deck in front of you. And the way you pick it up versus me is going to be different. I'm shorter than you, so I'm going to pick them up quicker, whereas you're going to take longer to go pick them up. And that's how our symptoms are going to affect each other. And it's something that and I always tell people, they're not treating Parkinson's, they're treating your journey with Parkinson's. So your journey different looks different from mine, and it's vice versa. So when you say they don't know what they're doing, they've never seen your journey before because it's your journey. So I always tell my family, like, how did the doctor visit go? I said I updated my file. Like I go to my neurologist to update my file with my journey with Parkinson's.
Yeah. So there's a couple things that pop to me based on what you said. Number one is the word humility, that we all need to approach a Parkinson's diagnosis with humility because, you know, tapering back to again something my dad was told. He had a neurologist earlier on says, "Well, we don't know everything, but we know a lot about Parkinson's." And it just drove me bananas. Like, this ain't about you, man. And
Nope.
and by the way, no, you don't.
Yeah, definitely not.
And so the humility says, back to another word you used, which was journey. You're going to go on a journey with this thing. You're going to live with it a long time unless something else comes up, because
Yeah.
that's what we can say. And how you choose to live will affect very much what you experience. Is that pretty
Oh yeah.
fair?
Oh yeah. And it's
Yeah.
one of those things that I had and she teases me about it. I had someone come to my support group, and I made her cry because she's like, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this." And I get passionate. So like we were talking for a bit, and I'm like, wait, are you trying to do it before Parkinson's or after Parkinson's?
Yeah.
She's like, the old me. I'm like, that person doesn't exist. And like I just said it out loud, and like I saw her eyes, I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
like she just started crying. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like that person doesn't exist,
Mm.
and we have to accept our new person, our new reality, our new. It's like once again my car analogies. You get diagnosed with Parkinson's, you walk in with your favorite car. Mine is a Ford F-150. I walked in and said, "Here, I want to tune up. Here are the keys." They come back with a 1982 Toyota Corolla two-tone fender and says, "Here's your car." I'm like, wait, I had plans. I had somewhere to be in 10 years. They're like, well, you can get there. You just have to stay off the main highway. Do oil change more often. Stop for every time it overheats. But you're gonna get there. It's just gonna take you 5 extra years. Doesn't mean you can't get there.
Yeah, that's good. I like it, the analogy very much. Hang tight. I want to do one more episode, and we're going to come back to this because I want to wrap up the whole journey of this. And by
Yeah,
the way, we know we're not done with it, but our journey for now, because
yeah.
there's a friendship that you and I have that is growing, even based on this conversation. I can feel. So let's come back in just a minute and touch this last one. Okay.
All right.